the brake line still going through its pulley, and then this one is not on this ring over here anymore. And I just made marks on it so that I could see how much extra slack I gave it, and these were pretty much matched. My knot was a little bit higher, but when they're tied pretty straight, you can see it there. So I'm within a centimeter or so of the original, and it's about the same on the other side. Super excited to see that on the Spyder here. So now on to the video. It's me again. I rode my bike out here a good bit. If you follow me on Instagram, you might have seen some bike pictures out here. But I was wondering if this would make a good place for flying. There in the distance, we've got I-40 coming right out of Memphis. There's the bridge, the pyramid. And then on this side, we've got I-55 and a train bridge. There's all these bike trails in the middle, which are fantastic. I try to ride them 3 to 5 times a week during lunch, and often wondered if I could take off a paramotor from here in the mornings before work. So I think we're going to try that out. We'll see how it goes. Morning, everybody. Traveling through downtown Memphis, trying to get ahead of the sun and get over to the Arkansas side of the river, and we'll see if we can get a flight in this morning for sunrise. Alright, so who sees this going bad? Yeah, there's not enough room. It didn't work. Let's try it again. Alright, so I moved my wing back over here to this more open area. Jeez, who would have figured? Need more open space. So I'm right underneath this power line that you can see in some other parts of the video, so I figured I'd start, well, not right underneath, but right next to it. It looked like I had plenty of maneuvering room going this way, so send it again. Keeping on those A's till I make sure the wing gets way up there, and then drop them and go. I need to idle up my motor just a little bit again. Still trying to fine-tune some of that. So you heard me kind of revving it to start to keep it going from stopping. Once it's super hot, it idles fine, but it's still a little low, so I just need to bump it up a touch. So here we go. This is the start of the 2D steering video. Some bikers over there, so I figured I'd give them a little quick turn. And climb out there. You can see Memphis downtown. It's like I said, this is a bike path you can see underneath me. And looky there. So, 2 different motions you have to make, and keep in mind while you're watching this video. With the 2D steering, you cannot just pull down like you typically do, or you'll do this, which I'm spiraling downwards if you don't give it throttle. Because it pulls that wingtip steering in and the brake. It really promotes some drop in altitude. So anytime you want to make a quick turn, gotta be on the throttle. Here you'll see just some wingtip steering. You just need to reach up there and pull a little bit and don't need to slow down any. That still works fine, just grab it separately. But here again, if you want to make a flat turn with no drop, you pull against that pulley and pull outwards, and it won't pull on that wingtip steering. So just the brake if you're flapping like your bird and pushing outwards. So that was one thing I really had to get over, switching between the old mode of steering. Pulling the brake, you could just pull it down, and you wouldn't lose altitude. But if you try to land and you pull straight down, you'll drop altitude too quickly. Tore up my shoe on my first flight with the 2D steering, because I came down a little quicker. I thought I'd hit the grass, but I hit the taxiway. Don't do that. Gotta pull outwards. There's the Mississippi River and some of these oxbows that come around it. And I work right across the river over there. Directly on the other side. Don't want to get too far out here because I didn't have any flotation or anything like that. So I want to make sure I've always got a landing spot. Look how quick this Spyder spins around with just a slight pull on that straight down. If that was just the brake line, it would be very docile and barely turn. So you see, when I pull down, it pulls both, the wingtip and the brake. If I pull out, it pulls just the brake, the wingtip stays still. Gotta make sure you keep those two separated and practice both of them a lot before you come back in for landing on the first go round. Especially if you're used to just pulling down those brakes anytime you want. Here's a little bit of weight shift steering only. I'm not touching anything, just weight shifting only. Still works pretty good. I've got those lamels on the back of this Air Conception Nitro 200, and they seem to counteract everything. So here's weight shift to the left under cruise, no issues. Of course, I'm not really giving it heavy throttle, so that's usually where you really see the difference. But I don't seem to have a problem making left or right turns, throttle or not. So if you look way out there in the distance, you can see the smoke from the towers of the natural gas plant. It's a good wind indicator. If you guys are looking for homemade wind indicator or natural wind indicators, because you have a lack of homemade ones, look for water, ripples on water, and look for smoke. Check this out. That's still just barely a slight pull. Even back out. Look how quick this thing zips around with just a tiny pull. Here we go again, back to the left. Just nice and easy turning. Before, if it was just the brake steering, it would be a very slow turn. Need some weight shift steering to really get it to move around. So the Spyder, at first glance, really seems like a super docile wing because those two are separated. And some people think, oh well, this Spyder, I just need to move up from that because I want something that's more agile, more fun. That's not really the case if you do the 2D steering on the Spyder. This thing is a blast, I'm telling you guys. I don't foresee myself ever moving up unless I just want something with more speed, with natural speed through the regular trim system like the Sirocco, something like that. But otherwise, I don't really see myself changing wings anytime soon. I've had this one almost a year now. With this clutch system and the Nitro and the 3-blade prop especially, super smooth coming down here for some low altitude foot drag type situations. So I don't know if you guys can see them in the thing there, but there was some people in the tunnel there snapping pictures, I imagine sticking them on Instagram or just sending them to somebody. This place, if you look on Google Earth, this is the only thing you can see. If you're looking at the flooded picture on Google Earth, there's this little mound. So I was just kind of cruising over that thing. It kind of sticks out like a little island because the water floods up over into these fields during high water time. Here's my bike paths. Again, I'm out here most lunch times, most days, as long as it's not super rainy or super hot. So there's some power lines up there. You always got to watch out for these power lines, especially in low light or situations where you can't see that well. Got to make sure that you pick up way ahead of time, or at least enough time for whatever motor you've got and whatever kind of climb rate you've got. So I don't want to get anywhere near these things as far as getting too close to them without a plan. This guy down here in the red car, he stopped with an SLR and a long distance lens. No idea who this guy is. If you're watching the video, send me some pictures. But he came out here and stayed for about 10-15 minutes, so I figured, hey man, I'll give you a show. Probably just a hobbyist photographer of some sort, just trying to get some cool pictures. He may have saw me from the highway or something like that, because he beelined straight here, pulled out the camera and started shooting. So here's the train that just came across the bridge next to the I-55 bridge. I forget if this is Harahan Railroad Bridge or there's two of them, Frisco Railroad Bridge, I think. There's two right next to each other. I don't know which one it is, but I thought it'd be fun to kind of zoom through this little pocket here. Alright, so some final thoughts before we end here. I forgot to mention on the 3-blade prop video, I don't really think it's worth switching if you're just bored and you want to switch. You don't really get a whole lot out of it. If you have to buy one, you dinged your prop, tore up something, whatever, I would go for the 3-blade over the 2-blade. And it's not a whole lot more, it's like a third more because you get the 3 instead of 2. As far as the 2D steering, if you're new at paramotoring, be very careful if you decide to do this. Make sure you do it right. But If you are looking to do something else and get a little more performance out of the wing, absolutely. It's a blast. I'm loving it even more than I did before, which is hard to imagine. You guys take care. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you later.